Hey profs, I'm Kaitlyn.
And I'm Kynedy.
We're best friends and hosts of Rowan University's newest podcast where we highlight the ways to get involved with the 200 plus clubs on campus. This is ClubChat.
Today for our next episode, we have the privilege of sitting down with the president of Pre-Vet Club, Kayla Bhagaloo. Kayla is a sophomore here at Rowan University, and she's a bio major with a pre-vet honors concentration. Kayla is also enrolled in the 3+4 Accelerated Vet Medicine program, with classes starting in fall of 2026. Hi, Kayla.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm so happy that you could be here. Can you please tell us about yourself?
Yeah, so I do a lot of things on campus. I'm a CA over at Magnolia. I work at the Student Center. I have the privilege of being the president for Pre-Vet. I'm involved in a bunch of other clubs, and I take a lot of science classes. That's pretty much it.
That's cool. You like being a CA?
Yeah, I like being a CA. It's a demanding job, but it's worth it, and free housing. So
yeah, shout out free housing.
Yeah. What made you decide to pursue veterinary medicine, and how did you know it was the right field for you?
Yeah, so I when COVID hit, actually, I was trying to find different places to volunteer because I wanted to be in National Honor Society, and I wanted to get those out of the way while I was going to be home forever. Mm-hmm. So I contacted a bunch of different places that worked with animals because I want to do something like that. And there was one person that answered me, and I've been training dogs with her for 6 years.
Oh, nice.
And she kind of definitely got me into it, introduced me to the animal side of it. And then before that, in 8th grade, my bio teacher kind of introduced me to the bio field. So those two together, I was like, okay, I want to do bio. I want to work with animals. Vet med is probably where I want to go. Mm-hmm. Then I started volunteering actually at a little local practice. It was just he was working out of his grandfather's house and that sort of thing. And I worked there for a year, worked my way up, and then eventually transferred to a different place to be a veterinary assistant. And then I was like, okay, well, this is what I want my life to be.
Mm-hmm. That's nice. Fun. Yeah. Bio teachers in high school, I don't know. I have a story. So I was in there, right? It was the first day of school, and my biology teacher, she was crazy. And we already heard down the street that she was crazy. So the first day, we're dissecting stuff or whatever, it's cool, but she whips out a dead cat. I kid you not, in a
we
plastic.
had those too.
In a plastic bag. I was like, oh my gosh. Mind you, I had a cat at home. So I'm like, oh my gosh, my Shayla, why would you do this? But yeah, that's when I was like, I can't do that because I would just be crying, sobbing,
I mean, you're helping the animal.
Yeah, you helping them, but the way she whipped it out, it was just casual,
traumatic.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, and it definitely depends on the way too that you treat it. We did cats too, but we did cats from October up until right before spring break, and we did every single body system. So yeah, it was sad and it sucked, but my cat's name was Carl, and we spent every day together for multiple months. Yeah, his name was Carl. I named him after a coworker by accident. Yeah, but he was cool. Definitely taught me about the field and that sort of thing. And it is sad, but a lot of they don't officially release where they get those animals and stuff. But a lot of them are animals that had to be put down from a shelter or died of natural causes or were donated to science. So it's not they're farming cats. Yeah. It's not that sort of thing. It's that they died anyway. Now we're using their remains to teach. So it is sad. But
what led you to choose Rowan University?
Yeah, so I originally was going to go to UMass. They're number 2 in the nation for my program. I was in their honors college. I was set to go. And they were $40,000 a year. Oh. And they didn't give any help to anybody out of state. And then Rowan came along, and I applied to Rowan because my little sister liked the campus. So I was like, well, okay, let's apply. So I applied, and then I got an invitation to apply to their 3+4 program. Wrote a bunch of essays and stuff, had my interview. Really didn't think I was going to get it. Cried the way home. But then I was like, okay, well, I'd rather... First off, I have my spot guaranteed in vet school here. Secondly, I'm 2 hours away from home versus 4. And I'm not going to be in crippling debt the rest of my life. If I went to one of those places, I would have been $500,000 in debt by the time I was done. Yeah. And, here I can still pursue what I want to do. But then when I go out of school, I can still afford a house, and I can afford to go to residency, and I can, have some leeway there.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Right. So as club president, what are your main roles and your main responsibilities?
Yeah, so we definitely like revamped the club this year. We used to do a lot of like veterinary schools, and they would come in and tell us about their school. And then we realized, like, hey, nobody wants to listen to this over. So we've been trying to bring in, we have weekly speakers, and we've been trying to bring in, like, different people from the field. So, like, for example, last week we had Adam Chrisman. He runs DVM 360, which is, like, one of the big conferences, and he travels around the globe.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we had, we do that. We had somebody come for, like, herpetology. We have somebody this Wednesday coming to teach animal CPR. So we're trying to give people like different avenues of, veterinary school is a 5 to 10% acceptance rate. It's really hard to get into. Yeah. So like, you love animals and you want to work with animals, but maybe, being a veterinarian isn't your path. Yeah. Here's some other things that you can do. And if you want to be a vet, here's some things that you can still do with that degree. So we try to give people like different, avenues to still like work in the field. If you don't become a vet, if you do become a vet, if you just want to work with animals and you don't even want to be in vet med. So we try to like expand a little bit and give people, that sort of thing and build connections. Like we went to Camden Aquarium a couple weeks ago.
Nice.
Yeah, we got like a behind the scenes tour with their head vet and stuff. Yeah, and it was really cool. Like he was really nice about it. And that's just like, big connection to have. So we're really trying to like build connections with the club and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I had gone to the Baltimore Aquarium with my mentoring program, and it was so much going on. I actually touched a jellyfish for the first time. Like I like the texture, but like it was not what I was like expecting. Yeah. Like it's hard and like I don't know.
I've never touched a jellyfish.
Yeah, it's like you would think that they're like soft because like they look like cute and stuff. So I touched it and I was like, why is it like hard? Like I'm not like I'm going like this in the thing, but like I'm like touching. I'm like this like doesn't match up to what I was seeing on SpongeBob and like. But honestly, it was really cool. There was just a lot of fish that they had going on there. Yeah.
What are the main goals and objectives of the pre-veterinary club?
Yeah, so our main goals are to really, further the field and try to get people into it, try to get people good advice, because it's really, like I said, it's really, really hard to get in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's competitive. And if you have a passion for it, we want to help you. We have a list of like organizations that know that pre-vet club at Rowan, and hey, this isn't a guaranteed spot in, but like, here's a stepping stone. Here's a use our name, use us, use our connections. So we're really big in trying to like get people that experience and then also like build a connection. So like those weekly speakers that come in, a lot of times they like give us private business cards where they're like, hey, if you guys need like herpetology experience, if you want to come shadow at the aquarium with me, like email me, let me know. Like, the field is definitely very good about like trying to help, the younger people getting into it and like paying it forward because like they know how hard it is.
Mm-hmm.
So our club really just tries to build those connections, making those lists of like, here's, all these people, of trying to show people different avenues, that sort of thing.
That's cool. Building connections.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, connections are everything.
Mm-hmm. What type of events or activities does the club organize to help members grow in their pre-veterinary journey?
Yeah, so every week we have different speakers come in from different aspects of vet med, outside of vet med, all that sort of thing. And then we try to do like a few bigger events. So like we did Camden Aquarium last semester. This semester we're doing CPR training this Wednesday.
Nice.
We're
on animals.
So it's going to be on like dummies, like when you go and get like your adult or like CPR certification for like children, where you do it on like the dummies first. We're doing it on dummies because the issue with doing it on real animals is you can like break their ribs and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we try to not do that.
So like, matter of fact, just answer the question first before I answer.
No, you're good. And then we try to do a few bigger events. So like we're part of the One Health Committee this year, where we're trying to bring like all the different aspects together. So like pre-med, people going to like the SOM school, people going to MD school, dentistry school, pre-PA, anything that you can think of. Like we try to bring all those different fields together because the field is growing to the, aspect of zoonotic diseases are real. Like, we have a connection to animals that we didn't realize before, like genetic wise, pharmaceuticals wise. So we try to like also show people that like, hey, you might not be directly associated with this pre-med student, but this might be somebody you have to work with in the future. So again, it's like a big connections thing.
Yeah.
I was going to say, do you guys use like animal dummies? Or like, how does that work on like, or a specific animal, like?
Yeah, so we did, we're doing specific like dog and cat CPR. So we'll have like a model that's like a bigger dog versus like a model that's a smaller dog. And it's the same thing with humans. Like you have a model that's like an adult versus like a baby. Like you have to do CPR different ways. So like different size animals, you have to do CPR a different way. And then like recovery training. So kind of like, hey, if you see like a dog go down, what should you do? Like obviously like CPR, but like, you know, what are the other steps that you have to take? What are like the basic like diagnostics? Is this, you know, is this a heart attack? Is this a stroke? Is this, what do I need to do? Who do I need to call? That sort of thing.
That's cool. Like I never even like, of course, like, you know, stuff can happen to like animals too, but I never thought of it like as like a training course for like,
yeah,
which is cool.
And it's something that is like new and up and coming versus like, you know, vet med for the past, you know, before the past 20 years has been very much like people working out of their houses, you know, have very basic limited access to like certain drugs, there isn't really specialties like human medicine does, but in the past 20 years, it's been like, you know, people now have the money and to care for their pets, and people see pets as more of like part of the family where they're like, okay, you know, we need to go to a cardiologist. Yeah, like, you know, so animal CPR like was a thing, but it wasn't as like prevalent. Like people didn't care as much because they were like livestock dogs or guardian dogs. Now they're like part of the family.
Yeah, I definitely had my mom a couple of times dropping a cool $700-800 for my cat because he would always be getting into stuff. So like
my sister and brother have a dog, and I call her my niece. That's my her name's Cinnamon. She was at our house, and like she just looked like it was something wrong with her for like 3 days, and she tried to walk up the stairs and she was literally about to fall over. I'm like, y'all need to take her, please take her to the vet. I was about to crash out. Whole time, y'all know this girl, she swallowed a dime and a penny, and it was disintegrating in her.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, you need to.
Because animals, like, is she like a small dog?
Yeah.
They be getting into stuff.
Like, why would you? I'm like, she's so dumb. Like, why would you do that? Like, I was so mad. I'm like, I came back to school upset. I didn't even get to say goodbye. I was so mad. I'm like, are you serious though? Like, I'm like, did you feed her bacon? You fed her bacon. That's why. Like, whole time it's not even. She swallowed a penny.
Yeah, my cat, he had ate a scrunch, like a hair tie, and it was like expanding in his stomach. So like he was like vomiting all over the place, and I was, mind you, I'm like 6 at the time. So I'm like, oh my God, Mom, like you gotta save him. Like we was in that vet quick, but yeah, he had to get surgery for that. But yeah,
I'm like, dang, you just got. She's still a baby. Like I'm like, she about to get put down already. Like, I was so sad. Like whole time that's my niece. Like I don't play about her.
Yeah, obstructions are rough.
Yeah.
Like they're rough. Like.
Do you have any pets?
Yeah, I have a dog. She was actually on campus yesterday.
Oh, we missed it. Sorry.
But yeah, she's like a little like 10-pound white dog. I used to show her before I came to college 2 hours away. And we did like a bunch of different things. I have a fish now that I love and I live with. He's my roommate and I've had him for 2 years. Cool guy. He likes hiding in his skull a lot.
What's his name?
Fireball.
Okay.
What type of fish?
He's a beta fish.
I love me a good beta. Wait, I have a story about a beta fish. See, look, y'all, I had pets on top. Like, I had hermit crabs before. Like, all right. So, basically, I got this beta fish for my 17th birthday, right? It's one of, like, $5 ones. Like, I was like, okay, cool. Like, I can't remember what I named it. It was, like, something crazy, though, because, like, I remember his name being something the third. So, I know I was, like, taking out third. So, like, he's chilling and stuff. Like, I get him acclimated to the tank. And then, like, Christmas Eve, because my birthday's the 22nd, so, like, a couple days after, like, he's upside down. I'm like, oh my gosh. I start crying. Mind you, I'm 17. Like, 1 year to being grown, and I'm crying over a fish. But then I ended up getting another one. But then I was like, after I got the other one, I was like, dang, like, I don't want to take care of him anymore. Definitely gave it to my cousin. And then, like, a month after, like, I did not see that fish. So I don't know what my cousin did, because she was like 5 at the time. So I was like,
I hope she probably was crashing out like how you was at 17. Yeah, I don't play about these pets. Like, my friend, she has roommates and they have 2 fish, and they're not fish, turtles, and they're so cute. But they like people. Like every time you walk in, they're like crawling to like the edge. I'm like, oh, gosh, like they're so cute. That's my niece and nephew.
Screaming other niece and nephew.
No, for real. Got a whole family.
Yeah, my sister, she actually used to have like a turtle, but it was like this big. Like by the time like.
I don't know, those ones would be scary.
Yes, and she would have them like under her bed, like or whatever. Because I don't know how you're supposed to take care of turtles. Like, so I don't know if she was doing the right thing or not. But yeah, that was like, it wasn't like scary to me, but it was just like, oh my gosh, like I never seen like one of y'all, like only saw you on like Finding Nemo, like seeing you in person. It's nice, like
small. If I would get a pet besides like a dog or a cat, I would definitely get a turtle now.
Those can grow really big.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, it depends on what you get. We have a few turtles. I work in one of the labs, like the animal behavior labs, and we have 7 turtles.
Ooh.
Yeah, different types of turtles, but they're like this big.
Yeah, I want something real small.
Do you have like the snapping turtles?
We don't have snapping turtles. We have
they are scary.
Yeah, they're nuts.
Yeah, cabbage and stuff.
I have a man-made like lake near my house, like back at home in Palmyra. So one day, it was like during COVID. I remember it so vividly because I was like, "Yo, like, what?" But it's like a lot of like fish and like turtles. Well, I didn't know at the time that it was a whole snapping turtle in that lake, but one was in there and it crawled out of the lake into like the street. And this lady was trying to like get it back into the water, like using a like snow shovel. I was like, "Man."
Yeah, I saved just
and it was like
the other day, but it
was snapping.
Not that big. Snapping turtles.
It was snapping at her and stuff. I'm like, "Ma'am," and she had on flip flops. I'm like, "Ma'am, like you're too close. Like, call animal control." But yeah, they're huge. Yeah,
that's scary. How can students get involved with the pre-veterinary club?
Yeah, so you can email me, Rowan Pre-Vet, message us on Instagram, do something on, ProfLink, how we get notifications. There's a whole bunch of different ways, and one of us will send you an email or send you a group notification, or just talk to anybody in the club, and they'll, get the contact. It's very easy to get in contact with us. We have more than one mode of contact, or just show up to one of our meetings. Like, we have meetings every single week. I tell a lot of people that you can pick and choose what you want to go to. If you just like animals and you're like, I want to go to this meeting, but, I don't want to go to the vet school ones, do that. Nobody's holding it against you. So people are just free to come to our meetings, experience what they want to go to, and what they don't want to go to, they don't have to.
Yeah, I was going to ask if it was you had to be in that pre-vet track, but literally anybody can just come.
No, anybody. We have somebody that's biomedical arts and visualization, and she just loves animals, and she comes to every single one of our meetings, and she loves it. Most people are pre-vet, just because, they're obviously going to be the most interested in it, but we have people from, all different aspects that come in.
Now, do you guys bring animals to these meetings?
We're not allowed to.
Dang.
But, yeah, we can't bring live animals in. We had somebody that wanted to bring her chicken in. Yeah. Yeah, she wanted to bring her chicken in that was, trained and stuff, but we couldn't.
Oh, my gosh.
I didn't even... chicken.
Her chickens, I pet sat for her. She's one of the vets at the Shriver School, and her chickens are, crazy. I was chasing chickens, to catch them. I was so scared.
They're bad?
Yeah, there was no fence. There was no fence. It was just in her driveway, and she's like, yeah, just let the chickens out. What do you mean just let the chickens out? They're going to get eaten. Yeah. So I was chasing her chickens. But yeah, she wanted to bring one when she spoke to the club, and I was like, we can't really have live animals in there. We had the therapy dogs a few weeks ago. We had a head person come in and talk about therapy dogs.
Yeah, I'm an intern at the wellness center, and one of the ladies, she has a dog named Ralphie, and Ralphie's my boy.
Oh yeah,
you know Ralphie?
Michelle's.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bruh, shout out Ralphie. Yes, Ralphie and I, we got this bond. I was just telling her about this. I'm like, yo, me and your dog, we got a bond going on. He's really my boy. I love Ralphie.
Yeah, she talked all about Ralphie, honestly.
Yes, Ralphie's the best. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see him.
What does Ralphie look like? Is that the black one?
I can show you a picture.
Pit bull mix.
Ooh.
I didn't know what he was, but I just yo, you're my boy. We locked in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pet friends forever.
Yeah, I was gonna ask too. You guys do partnerships with the pet therapy program and stuff too.
Yeah, so we try to bring in different opportunities and stuff. We don't necessarily do partnerships with them, but we had them come and speak a couple weeks ago. They brought a therapy dog to kind of explain the difference, because a therapy dog is not the same as a service dog, not the same as an ESA, and how to treat that vet med wise, and how to. We had a couple of good questions that were asked, and how to navigate tough situations, because they the people in the pet therapy program obviously deal with some pretty harsh situations. So we had some people ask hey, when there's a euthanasia going on, how do I handle that? How do I help the people? How do I help the animal? And they were really helpful in that, and they've always been really helpful on hey, if you guys need animal experience, come to our symposium, come to our Wagging Tail Wednesdays, and they really try to help us out where they can.
That's cool. Yeah.
All
right, so what advice would you give to incoming students who are considering joining the pre-vet club?
Yeah, I tell them just to come to meetings. Just come, show up. If you don't like it, nobody's holding it against you. You don't have to come again. And I feel we're pretty good about, we always stay after. The e-board always stays after. And we have 2 or 3 people come to us every meeting and say, hey, here's my resume. Here's everything that I've done. What am I missing? What do I need to do to get into vet school? And, we can show them the right resources, based on what they have, or be hey, you have no equine experience. I think you need to go reach out to places. Here's some places for you. So if anybody even remotely wants to, email us or just show up to a meeting.
That's really cool that you guys also do like professional development along with like, you know, like the social aspect, which like coming to a meeting and stuff. Because I know that resume requirements or like what you might want on your resume might be completely different from mine, and I'm a psych major.
Yeah.
So like that's really cool though.
Yeah, vet med's pretty specific in like what they want, and a lot of schools are pretty similar in what they want. So like we just try to help people out where we can. And, like, it's not like an end all be all, and it's not like every, you know, applicant is the same, but like here's some basic things that you should have.
Yeah, that they're like specifically looking for.
Yeah. So they look for kind of like a well-rounded person. You know, you're involved in stuff. You have like equine experience. You know, small like dog and cat experience. Some other stuff like intertwined in there. So we try to give people advice where we can.
That's cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, so for this next segment, we're going to move into this or that, and it's going to be veterinarian edition. So we're going to ask you a couple questions, and then you just pick which one you prefer. Okay. All right? So the first one, small animals or large animals?
Definitely small animals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Large animals are scary.
I be seeing horses like, like messing people up.
Yeah. I volunteered at a horse farm, and they're nuts. Like, the first vet that I worked for, he was originally a horse vet, and he said out of the, like, I think it was like 70 people that he graduated with, 7 of them died from getting kicked by a horse.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
because their kicks are strong. Yeah.
And I'm like 5 foot. Like, I can't wrangle a horse. I know my abilities.
Yeah, I know I'd be one of them 7 people.
Yeah, same.
That is crazy. Wait, so like with smaller animals, like I'm thinking of it as like a vet standpoint, like they're so small. So like their organs and stuff are so small.
Yeah.
Fragile almost.
So there's like some stuff that you can't, like it's a lot harder to do like open heart surgery because their heart is like this big. But there's a lot of things that you can still like do, and there's a lot of medications that you can still give where like, you know, now people are realizing like, oh, this, you know, medication was originally tested on animals and then given to humans. Wait, the animal test went well. We can use it on animals. Right. So, like, there's a lot of, like, medications and stuff that you use first versus, like, going right to surgery. Surgery definitely is, like, the hardest thing to do. And it's really hard to get a residency in just because it's so difficult because they are so small. But, like, horses, they're normally awake for and standing up. Yeah. Versus, like, you know.
Oh, they're awake while?
A lot of the time, yeah, because knocking out a horse is, like, different. And if it's, like, something super serious, like, they'll knock them out. But a lot of the times they'll just use local anesthetic and, like, you know.
Yeah, because I was just trying to think of that because, like, they weigh probably, like,
they weigh a lot. It's a lot to, like, knock a horse down and to get it back up. So they try not to.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, horses are.
Yeah. They're scary.
They are kind of scary.
I know when you think about it, yeah.
Camels are worse, though. I
didn't even think of camels.
Camels are awful. They're scary.
No, they
Elephants, like, I don't know if they...
I feel like elephants are cutesy, though. Like,
they're cute till you probably get stomped on because you put the needle in the wrong place.
And they remember, for real. They really remember.
And they don't care. If they got to go from point A to point B, if there's 10 trees in the way, they don't care.
That's crazy. Like...
Camel, I didn't even think about a camel.
Camels, their neck, they can, like, if you're working, like, near their butt, like, you know, with a horse, if you're working near their butt, you got time to react because their neck is only so long to turn around and bite you. A camel, their neck is so long, and they have, like, canine teeth. Yeah, they're scary.
I don't even think of, like, anatomy, like, when it comes to, like...
Yeah, like, if a lot of the times when, you know, in countries where they have, like, camels roaming, like deer, like, if they hit a camel, the car will get damaged and not the camel. Like,
well, I figured that because I feel like all, like, 4-legged, like, big animals like that, like, your car is going to get messed up.
Yeah, they're crazy. I did not have a fear of camels until I went to a conference and I sat in on, like, an hour talk about camels, and I was like, wow. This is not for me. I do not want to work with camels.
Yeah.
So, working with pets or working with wildlife?
I don't know yet. Probably pets as of right now. Just because there's a lot more, like, readily available to pets. Like, there's a big issue right now with, like, you know, wildlife and getting the funding because they don't have somebody that can, you know, be like, okay, I'm willing to spend $500 on fox. Like, you know, so it's a lot harder to, like, get funding for them and stuff. So there's a lot less that you can do. And then reintroducing them into the wild, be like, hey, you know, we need to rehab you and we need you to be, you know, with us for 6 months. Can we introduce that animal back into the wild? So it's like, at that point, you know, do we euthanize the animal? Do we not? Like, it's a lot harder to treat an animal that's like wildlife than to treat a pet, and it's definitely a lot more mentally taxing.
Yeah.
So I'd say probably pets is where I'm thinking right now, or like even like zoo animals, that sort of thing.
I'm gonna ask, would you rather work at a zoo or an aquarium? Because I know it's like multiple like.
Ooh, I don't know. Like, I love fish, but also like, I don't know. I like zoo animals too. So I'm going to Africa this summer.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I'm going to South Africa to work with like lions and giraffes and that sort of thing.
Nice.
So that'll get like the wild. So I'll see like the wildlife part, and then I'm gonna be a volunteer at Camden Aquarium in the fall. So I guess I can answer that.
Come back to like for another podcast. Just be like, yo, my trip in Africa. This is how it went. That's so cool though. Amazing. Like I couldn't like.
Yeah, no.
With the lion, like. Nah,
like the baby ones, I'll be cool.
Not even that, because you gotta watch out, because that mom might come and like sneak you. Like,
oh no, I'm talking about the ones. Well, I don't know. I be watching anything, but like you know how they just be like in the swimming pools, or like they'll be in like their house, like little kids.
Oh yeah.
The small baby ones, like the mom.
Like Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
What do you have? I thought he had like a lion or something like that in one of his like album.
I had family that had 2 lions.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I have like distant family that was in the circus, and they had,
oh nice.
Yeah, and they had there's pictures of like lions in their living room.
Like actual like fully grown, or we talking like
babies.
kids? Okay, I was about to say.
Like yeah. When they grew up, like they still had them, and like obviously that was 40 years ago when it was okay to do that. Yeah. Now it's not as okay, but it's still kind of cool. Like you raised a lion.
You screaming Carol Baskin. Yo, that was. Yo, COVID was like a time, like, like.
No, for real.
I was on that.
That's
oh my gosh. All right, so the next one: working with reptiles or working with birds.
Birds.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not even a vet.
Like different.
They just. I wanted a chameleon for the longest time, but then like as I was like going to like aquariums, like taking trips to like PetSmart with like my cousin and stuff, I would look and I'll be like, I don't like the way it's looking at me like that, or how like they move so like fast and stuff. Like I flinch. Yeah.
Reptiles are like a whole different animal. Like they're not for me. They definitely have a personality, and like they have their own set of things. But I've never been like a big reptile guy. But like birds are also like scary. They'll take off your finger. Like
what's that one bird that be on TikTok? Y'all know which one I'm talking about? Like it's a big one and it looks mad creepy.
Probably a macaw. I haven't seen it, but macaws are pretty big.
A vulture?
No, not a.
Them is scary.
No, not a vulture. It's called shoe something. But like literally, it's like this big like blue, like it almost looks like a flamingo, right? So it's big and it's blue and it's got the like a long like beak, and it just looks. Those are scary.
Yes,
I would cry if it was me and that bird face to face. I would cry, like cry. Like those are so
or like
scary.
an ostrich.
I don't trust the big birds.
They're so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A bird, like a nice little like the little Fruit Loops. Yeah, yes.
Oh my gosh, no.
Yes, that's creepy.
I don't know why, but I wasn't thinking about that.
Which one was you thinking about?
Something with like an ostrich with like blue fur.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
The way that they just like stare, like
I said blue fur.
The regular face that they have, like they just stare at you like that. No. Like that's creepy.
No personality.
Just straight like looking at you, like plotting on you. Like
I think it's fun too how like every animal has like a personality. Like they're all different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like just an individual. Like they're just regular people.
Like in a sense, like
literally. They all have a personality. Like it's so funny. Like
you really be acting like that. Like who taught you that? Like because you wasn't trained to do that. Yeah. All right. So next one: veterinary conference or hands-on workshops.
I probably say hands-on workshops because I like, trying to physically learn, but conferences are also really good for networking.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I went to an Atlantic City conference, New York, Florida, a few other places.
You just be everywhere, and I love that for you.
Like, I love traveling. And that's what's so good about conferences is you can go to, like, I'm going to try to go to Vegas for their big conference because, like, let's go to Vegas.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And it's really good for connections. Like, it's really good to, try to build those connections now of like, hey, you're not a vet student now, but, come back in 2 years. Like, here's my LinkedIn and come back in 2 years. I like your resume now and I know I'm going to like it more later. So conferences are definitely more of like the practical aspect, but like hands-on training is what, I do the field not for the connections. That's just what I need to do. Yeah. The hands-on training is like the fun part. That's like where you get to actually apply it.
Yeah.
So vet technician or veterinarian?
Veterinarian. Definitely. I'm a vet assistant right now, which is pretty much, it's kind of similar to a vet tech. The only difference is a vet tech has a certificate saying that, like, I'm a certified vet tech and I don't have a certificate. I just have training. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I'm not going to go through 2 years of schooling and then go be a vet. But vets get to do a lot more than technicians. Like, technicians are kind of like the nurse of the veterinary world. They kind of have to do, like, you know, what the vet says to some degree. Like, they also know, like, you know, how to do certain things. But being a veterinarian, you kind of get to do your own thing. There's different paths you can go down. You know, I can own my own practice. I can go, you know, make my own schedule versus techs have, like, a more stringent schedule and that sort of thing. It's a lot more people above you, which is not my thing. But it's also good, like, if you don't want to go through that much schooling, if you don't want to go to residency, if that's not the life for you, go be a vet tech. Like, that's great for you, but not for me.
Yeah. All right, so the last one. There's only one right answer. It's like, no, I'm playing. I'm biased. Dogs or cats?
I think it depends. It depends. If it's, like, in the clinic, I'd rather a dog. If it's, like, you know, right now at this stage of my life, I'd rather a cat. But definitely, like, when I'm older, a dog. So I like both of them, but, like, clinic cats are crazy.
My cat was, like, every time I would take him to the vet for, like, it would be like a little checkup. They had to give him something to chill out because he was in there, like, hissing at the people, swatting at him, swatting at me. I'm like, bro, like, I'm trying to help you. And then, like, he would go get his checkup, and then my mom and I, we would wait, like, in the waiting room, and then he would come back just, like, calm. I'm like, I know they gave up, like, something. Like, he just didn't come out, like, he didn't just, like, chill out after that, but, yeah.
Yeah, the people that can deal with cats are crazy. I'm not one of those people. Like, I do what I can, but yeah, and they're so, like, they're like ferrets. Like, they can just get out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, they can fit into anything that their whiskers can fit into. Dogs, like, if you kind of put them in a corner, like, they're just like, okay,
they're just gonna sit there.
Yeah, they kind of just like.
Dogs be more curious, but they don't really be acting on it.
Like cats will act on it and do 10 like, things
why
after
are you jumping
that.
on the fan? How did you get up there? Like, they do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'd probably do a dog. Well, as a vet, definitely a dog. Cause,
I'd rather take a, like, you know, big Doberman or Pit Bull biting any day because you can put a muzzle on the dog and then he's fine. Like, you can put a muzzle on it and lay down on top of him and you can get blood. Right. Cats, like, if they don't want it, you're not getting it. You're not getting
unless
it.
You can get them. I don't know what they did to mine, but they gave him something. So unless you can do that,
you're gonna have to muzzle the cat, then clip
screaming muzzle the cat for real.
Oh my god, that's the worst. When people are like, you know, we just fought your cat, and it's like, oh, did you cut his nails? Is that really what you
No.
Did you cut his nails? Like, seriously?
Are you okay? Like, no.
Like, we almost just got our lives taken from your little lion, and you're worried about cutting his nails.
I'm crying, little lion.
They're scary, man.
Yeah, no.
Oh my gosh. All right, Kayla. So before we let you go, is there anything you'd like the audience to know about your club or anything like that?
Just to, like, come visit us. If you don't like it, nobody's gonna force you to stay. But it's definitely, like, a good way to explore different fields.
Yeah. What days do you guys meet?
Every Wednesday, 2 to 3:15 in Discovery 409.
Okay.
And what's your Instagram?
Rowan Prevet.
Y'all heard her, Rowan Prevet.
Thank you all so much for joining us for this episode of Club Chat. We can't wait to meet more clubs on campus. If you're interested, check out the show notes for this episode or check out the link in our Instagram bio. See you guys next time.